Welcome back to day 3 of our first unit in algebra. For today, we're going to be working on rates, ratios, percentages, and unit conversions. All right, let's take a look here. So our goal of the day today, you will be able to use unit conversions for time and distance and write your final answer as a rate. Okay, so what that means, we're going to be having to convert time from seconds to hours, distance from feet to miles, and we're going to write our final answer as a rate, for instance, miles per hour. That's our goal for today. So let's go ahead and get started. So for today's lesson, you are going to be needing your graphing calculator as well as a writing utensil. So let's go ahead and take a look. So before we talk about unit conversions and rates, we first need to start with the basic, which is a ratio. So a ratio shows the relative size of two or more values. It can be shown in many different ways. For example, if there is one boy and 3 girls, we could write it as a ratio. For instance, a 1 to 3. For every one boy, there are 3 girls. Or we could say a fourth of the population are boys and 3/4 are girls, because there's a total of 1 and 3, there's a total of 4. So 0.25 or 25% are boys. And then on the other side, it would be 0.75 or 75% are girls. So those are many different ways to write our ratios, and that's what you've been working with over the past many years. So now let's take it to an example. So the 9th graders at Amherst Central High School took a survey on their favorite cafeteria lunch. Below is a table of their results. So which item was the favorite lunch item and why? So if we take a look at this table, it's hard to tell exactly which item is the favorite because we have boys and girls that are separated. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to write down the totals. So I'm going to go through and add them together. So for instance, the total number of hot dogs is 22. Tacos is 56, 55, and 17. So I'm just adding straight across. So if I take a look now, it's easy for me to see that the favorite lunch item is tacos. So we're going to say taco because, and this is the explain why. That's why you have to write because it had the most votes. Okay, next up, what is the percent of students that chose pizza as their favorite? So if I want to know the percent that chose pizza, so percent is part over total times 100%. So let's take a look. So what part chose pizza? So if I take a look at pizza, 55 chose pizza. All over. Now what's the total people that took the survey? Well, I'm not sure, so I'm going to have to add all these up. And when I do that, I get 150. So I'm going to put over 150. And then we're going to multiply everything by 100%. So when I come to my calculator now, it's 55 divided by 150 times 100. And I'm going to see that it's going to be 36.6 repeating percent. It does not tell me to round, so I'm going to keep it as a repeating decimal. Okay, so now that we've reviewed a little bit about ratios and percent, let's take a look at rate. So here we have example number 2. During the winter of 2012-2013, Buffalo received 22 inches of snow in 12 hours. Oswego, New York received 31 inches of snow over a 15-hour period. Which city had the heavier snowfall rate? So here they want us to find the rates of the two cities. So I'm going to have to remember that a rate is the amount over time. So right now I want to go ahead and I want to write down the rate for Buffalo and Oswego. So I'm going to reread the problem and I'm going to underline my important information, or I'm going to highlight it here. So here we have Buffalo and 22 inches, 12 hours. Okay, and next we have Oswego, and they were 31 inches in 15 hours. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to write those as rates. So here, Buffalo, okay, so they are 22, that is the amount, inches over 12 hours. And then we have Oswego, okay, and they were 31 inches all over 15 hours. Now I want to make sure first off I have the same units. So inches, inches, hours, hours. So we're good. So now we can go ahead and we can use our calculator to find the rates. So 22 divided by 12 And here we're going to get 1.83 repeating inches per hour. And next I'm going to do Oswego. 31 divided by 15, and I'm going to get 2.06 repeating inches per hour. So we can say now which city had the heavier snowfall rate. We would say Oswego, because they had more snow per hour. And we have our data here to support it. So there's a little bit about rate. So now that we've reviewed percentages and rates, now let's take a look at our unit conversions. So if we flip to the back, we're going to see there's a lot of unit conversions up here. So these are the unit conversions that we're going to be using in our different problems. So if we take a look here, we have 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So every time you have 1 inch, you have 2.54 centimeters within that 1 inch. 1 meter is 39.37 inches. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So all of these that are typed out, these are unit conversions that will be given to you on every quiz and every test. Now, there are a few that we're going to have to memorize, and those we're going to have over here. So these are unit conversions we have to memorize. So we have 1 year is how many days? Well, that's going to be 365. 1 year is 12 months. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 hour is 60 minutes. 1 minute is 60 seconds. There's one I forgot here, so let's go ahead. A foot. You could say 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, and 1 dozen equals 12. All right, so now that we have all of our conversions, let's go ahead and let's practice converting from different units. So here we have there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. If Joanna has 20 ounces, how many cups does she have? So I'm always going to start with what we have. So right now, Joanna has 20 ounces. So I'm going to start by writing 20 ounces. Okay, now I want to convert ounces into cups. They want me to end here with cups. So that's what I want to end with. So I need to look for my unit conversion of ounces to cups, and it's actually written right here in the problem. There's 8 ounces in every 1 cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this as a ratio, as a fraction. I know 8 ounces is 1 cup. So I'm going to multiply this by the unit conversion, or its equivalent. So we know 8 ounces is 1 cup. Now if I make this into a fraction, what I want to happen is I want the ounces to cancel. So 8 ounces, 1 cup. So I'm going to put ounces in the bottom. 8 ounces are in 1 cup. Okay, now the reason I chose to put 1 cup on top and 8 ounces in the bottom is because now ounces cancels with ounces, and I'm left with cups. So now I have 20 over 8, and the only unit that's left is cup. Okay, and then I can use my handy dandy calculator to divide, and I know that my final answer is 2.5 cups. And we've got it. All right. Let's try another one. Let's go ahead and try number 2 now. Christian has rope that's 1.2 yards. How many inches does he have? Now, I don't know the unit conversion right away because I want to go from yards to inches. So let's take a look here. So inches and yards. If I look up here, I don't have inches or yards. If I look over here, I don't have inches or yards, but I do have yards and feet. And then I have feet in inches. So I'm going to have to do 2 conversions here. So I'm going to go yards, and I'm going to convert it to feet. And then I'm going to go feet and convert it to inches. All right, so let's go ahead and convert it to feet first. So we're going to start with how much we have. We have 1.2 yards. I'm always going to put that over 1. Now I'm going to multiply it by its equivalent fraction and unit conversion. So I know that there is 3 feet in every yard. So since yard is on top here, I put 1 yard in the bottom, and 3 feet goes in the top. So now I can cancel yards, and all I have left is feet. All right, so then we just have to multiply across. So 1.2 times 3 is 3.6 feet. Okay, so now I have feet. So I'm going to start with what we have. We have 3.6 feet over 1 times, now I know there's 12 inches in every foot. So I'm going to put 1 foot in the bottom and 12 inches in the top, because now feet cancels with feet, and then I can just multiply across. And we get 43.2 inches. And that's our final answer. We just converted from yards to inches. All right, let's go down now and let's try a few more. So now we have number 3. It took Danica 540 seconds to run around the park. How many hours will that be? So go ahead right now and we need to think, okay, seconds has to convert to hours. So seconds converts to hours. So that means I'm going to have to go from seconds to minutes, and then minute to hour. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to have you stop the video and I'm going to have you try this one on your own. All right, let's take a look. So did you end up with 9 minutes and then 0.15 hours? If you did, you've got it correct. All right, now let's take a look at number 4. Jared can run 1 mile in 6 minutes. What is his speed in miles per hour? So let's take a look. What do they start us off with? So Jared can run 1 mile. So we're starting, our distance is miles. And what is his speed in miles per hour? Ooh, and we end with miles. So we don't have to change anything there. It's mile and mile. Now let's take a look at the time. Okay, so our time, he has 6 minutes. And we want to go from minutes, we want to end in hours. So there's one conversion we have to do here. We have to change minutes into hours. So let's go ahead and we're going to do that first. So 6 minutes over 1 is what we're starting with. And we want to convert that into hours. So 1 hour and 60 minutes. Okay, so my minutes cancel. And then I have 6 divided by 60, 6 divided by 60, and we get 0.1 hours. Okay, so now I have hours, but now it says, what is his speed in miles per hour? So I want miles per, which means over, hour. Okay, well, I know, well, how many miles did he run? He ran 1 mile over 0.1 hours. Okay, so now if I divide that, 1 divided by 0.1, we're going to get 10 miles per hour. And we've got it. Okay, last problem for the day. Let's see if we can get it. So it says Dan took 2 minutes to run 440 yards. What is his speed in miles per hour? Okay, so again, we want speed. Miles per hour. So let's take a look here. Our distance is miles, and the distance we started with was 440 yards. So I'm going to have to change that yards to miles. And then if we look at our time, we start with 2 minutes, and we want to end with hours. So we're going to have to do 2 conversions here. We want to change minutes into hours and yards into miles. So let's go ahead and give that a try. So I'm going to start with time first. So I'm starting with 2 minutes over 1, and I want to change that into hours. So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Now I want my minutes to cancel, which they're going to do. So that means I'm going to have 2 divided by 60. And I'm going to get 0.0333 repeating hours. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert my distance. So I'm starting with 440 yards. Remember, you always start with what you're given. And I want to change that into miles. So let's go up top and look for miles. So miles in yards. So if I take a look here, here's 1 mile is 1,760 yards. So 1 mile equals 1760. Okay, and then yards, so those cancel. And I'm going to end up with 0.25 miles. Okay, the last step then, oops, you can't see that. The last step then is to go ahead and finish with miles per hour. And I'm going to have you do that on your own and plug it in the calculator. All right, nice job, everybody.